All right, here we go with my impressions of the And Fragrance Discovery Set. If you watched my previous videos, I was quite taken with their patchouli and I ended up purchasing a bottle. I had been wanting to try this brand for quite some time. It's started by the Gorilla perfume from Lush Perfumes perfumer Simon Constantine, who's also the son, I believe, of the founder of Lush Cosmetics, of the Lush brand. So he branched off to kind of create his own brand. He seems to have a real passion about sourcing and sourcing ethically, and I think that's really nice. A lot of his perfumes come with a backstory of how they source that particular material and how they did it in an ethical, sustainable way. I think this is always great. I think it's kind of a baseline for doing business that you should be ethical, but the product itself still has to deliver something interesting and worth your money. So I'll be talking about this today. First, really quickly, I usually don't like to reference older videos because I never know in what order people are watching, but yesterday I did Thomas DeMonaco review and this table smells crazy. When I walked into the room, I'm just like getting a swirl of smells. So those are some strong fragrances. I've realized spraying the tester strips over the table, they kind of collect, but it's gonna turn into a little room diffuser, this whole wood table. Anyway, I was finally able to get a discovery set. If you're in the UK or the EU, they offer this with a money back guarantee basically. So if you buy the discovery set, you can put that towards future purchase. Their UK website does not offer shipping to the US, although I read recently that now they do if it's an oil perfume. So they offer different concentrations. Also something I hadn't noticed until recently, that some of their perfumes, they offer EDP, EDT, and oil. So apparently you can get US shipping now. Finally, I guess about a year ago, Indigo perfume in the US started carrying it, and I was very excited about that. But they were charging, I think, 40 or maybe 60 for the discovery set. So instead, I just ordered the Indigo sampler, which is a fantastic deal. Highly recommend. Something like $20, you pick your 5 perfumes. And I picked patchouli and their sandalwood. I was impressed with both. I really love the patchouli, and I thought, wow, I gotta try the rest of these. And then Indigo ended up selling out of quite a lot of their stock, including their discovery set. And then just Googling around as one does, I found it seems like a fairly new business based in Montreal called Parfum Exquise that offers free shipping to the US no matter how much you order, which is kind of crazy. I'm wondering if they're taking a loss on that right now just to gain customers. So I ordered this from them. Again, not sponsored, just giving information for those in the US who might want to find this. And their price was pretty reasonable. I think $30 for this official set. Funny, it does come with a 25-pound off coupon, which I can't use unless they start opening up shipping. Oh, I shouldn't, that gives you a code right there. Oh well, someone else can use it. So first I just want to say I felt the need after trying these to kind of make a video post-haste because I talked them up so much, and I feel like I actually already tried my 2 favorites, and so I'm a little less impressed by the rest of the set. I think still worth trying. I think if you know Lush perfumes, I guess it's Gorilla perfumes at Lush, a lot of these are very recognizably in that style. I think I said this before, but they feel handmade. They don't feel amateur, as in like indie amateur perfume, just tinkering with ingredients, like off balance. They feel like they're handmade by someone who really knows what they're doing. And of course, Simon Constantine has quite a lot of experience by now as a perfumer. But there's that roughness, just like their soaps, like they're unpackaged, they're in baskets, or they cut off a chunk from a big block. So I would say that the feel of them is not far off from Lush perfumes. So if you're a big fan of Lush, definitely try these out. I'm actually not the hugest fan of the Lush perfumes, although I do like Breath of God, the overall style, that kind of, I don't know how to say it, like granola, organic, even though I'm vegetarian, aesthetic isn't really me. But so I was surprised when I liked patchouli so much from this line because I wasn't expecting to like something so much. So anyway, we'll get into it. I'll try to read these and find their blurb. So each one is named more or less after the ingredient. So Mad is, I believe, the Madagascar vanilla. and we'll give it a spray. Add to the table of scent. These sample sprays are pretty bad, but I think for the price, it's a decently priced sample set. Yeah, so besides the 3 I tried already, this might be my 3rd or 4th favorite. Definitely vanilla, but vanilla with lots of lemon. It's giving like a lemon custard kind of vibe. It has this custardy sweetness. It really smells quite a lot like vanilla extract when you buy cooking vanilla extract. I think the problem with it for me is it's a little too gourmand. Vanilla is never my favorite, and I think when I like it, it goes in more of a boozy, darker direction, and this interestingly takes it in a bright lemony direction. One thing I can say about all of these is they don't really smell like anything else, and they don't smell like any typical kind of designer aroma chemicals or even luxury niche aroma chemicals. Those things are fine, but I think sometimes new perfume releases are just so overloaded with them that everything kind of smells like the same few materials. And none of these smell like anything like that. So yeah, it's just very foody. If you just imagine a lemon custard, that's pretty much the smell you get there with Mad. The performance on most of these is moderate. I think these are all EDT, although it doesn't say. I have a feeling that offering different concentrations is a relatively new development. And so I think in the Discovery set, they're probably all whatever the original concentration was. But cool little booklet that tells you about it. So here's what it says about Mad. Talks about Madagascar's threatened forests. Again, how they're doing a better job, a more ethical, more sustainable job. Let's see if we can find the notes there on this page though. Madagascar, sweet indeed. Vanilla, livelihood problems, integrity, not forestry or including vanilla, luxurious orchid. Here we go. So this is naked vanilla packed with luxurious orchid warmth, blended with the best Madagascar has to offer: ylang oil, vetiver, violet, musk, jasmine, cloves. So interesting, it doesn't mention lemon anywhere. I can see the ylang. It's got that kind of rubbery, banana-y, but yeah, it's like a fruity vanilla. Not really my vibe, but I think it's nice. If that sounds nice to you, a fruity, lemony, custardy vanilla, then definitely seek this out. Next up, Far. I believe this story actually, even if these little accents annoy you, was actually kind of cute, but I'm forgetting it right now, that this word with the A and has a meaning. That's kind of nice. So Far, again, lemony. This one's really heavy on the foodie lemon. Let's see if we can find Far in here. Really lemony, more lemony and bright than Mad. Don't know what order these are in. Let's see if this is Bear, Sand, Bean, Patch, Far. Right. So tangy lime and zesty yuzu. So you can see there a picture, of key lime pie. Think of Far as a posh, swanky cheesecake imaginable. Zingy yet sweet, fresh yet rich, delicious, wholesome, all with 0 calories. So this is yuzu and lime. Again, it leans pretty sweet. I didn't expect these two next to each other. This is more creamy, obviously vanilla. Yeah, very bright limey. Yeah, if you've had key lime pie, if you want to smell like a key lime pie, go for this. Again, I don't like gourmands so much, so not for me, but pretty nice again. I think these are all very well done. If that sounds good to you, if you're the kind of person who thinks smelling like key lime pie sounds good, then this might be perfect for you. So now on to Bear, which I believe this one is a take on like Bear the animal, and it's supposed to smell woodsy. So here we go, Bear. Yeah, a little bit of a fresh woods, a little bit like cedar and pine. Again, it has a little bit of that sweet undertone. I don't know what this is, but it's like the Lush Accord. When you go in there, it smells a little bit fresh, not soapy, because I don't think Lush ever smells like French soapy, but I guess because they fragrance their soaps with these things that you associate it with soapy. But this one smells very Lush to me, very like aromatic, walking into the Lush store. So it says, this fragrance encapsulates the living heart of the forest, enigmatic essence of the Great Bear Rainforest. Let's see if we can find the notes. So cedar is the theme here. Maintains Great Bear Rainforest. So yeah, purchasing this, actually I think they donate some proceeds to the Great Bear Rainforest. Doesn't say much here though, besides cedar. 2 bears, downstairs top note. Conifer needles, branches. Sustainable income generation helps restore the balance between... Yeah, sorry about this. It's not straightforward to find the notes. You have to read their blurb. But yeah, it's saying cedar can be associated with old school air freshener, floor cleaners, but not this one. Delicious fragrance encapsulates the living heart of the forest. Sustainably hand-sourced ingredients from within the bosom that maintain the breathtaking... Yeah, it doesn't say what those ingredients are, but cedar, again, there's a fresh brightness to all of these, which I think is nice. You can tell he has a style, which is kind of like punch you in the face with these bright, aromatic, citrusy things at the start, and then things start to kind of calm down. But yeah, to be honest, actually, it's funny that they say this is not that kind of cedar, but it does go, because of that freshness, that bright pininess, it does go a little bit to me in that slightly floor cleaner direction. Next up, Frank. This one was the next I was most excited, because frankincense sounded nice. I like frankincense, smoky, woody scent. This one also, the sprayer has the most trouble. I did manage to get some on skin, and I've worn each of these at least once on skin in the evening. Yeah, a little bit's coming out now. Yeah, this one immediately is a little darker than the others. I think my issue with it, again, was that it's relatively bright and sweet. Not that sweet, but it's not got like a dark smoky incense at all. So it says frankincense, bet you're thinking dark churchy dusty incense. But frankincense can be fresh and fruity. Seriously, what we do with this arcane and noble fragrance is close to a miracle. A true celebration of fun, fresh, and fruit. You erred, no creepy old clergy. So that's often their take. They take an ingredient and kind of twist it in an unexpected way. And yeah, it does. It has a bright, again, fresh and fruitiness. And I think that began to be my problem with these, is that they all kind of had this bright, fresh and fruitiness, either fresh and fruity citrus or yuzu or the vanilla, lemony vanilla. I'm not a materials expert, obviously, so I don't know what pure frankincense in the wild smells like, but I can see that there can be like a bright lemony aspect to incense. But this doesn't smell much like frankincense to me. It doesn't smell like incense. It doesn't smell like anything burning. Again, it goes a little bit lemony, floor cleaner. So as you can see, so far all 3 of these, while they're unique from other fragrances, they're feeling very similar to each other. So this video is going to be like an hour long. I realize there's a lot. So sand, I talked about this. This one I tried earlier from the Indigo sample. So it mixes sandalwood with banana. Again, it's I think all of these are fun, but as far as like a serious perfume I want to wear, I don't think any of them meet that except for Patch. But in that way, it reminds me a little bit of like Demeter, and the prices aren't terrible. They're not super cheap, but they're not crazy expensive either. I think Sand still is above among my favorites. Really very realistic, like super ripe banana. Like if you open a drawer or a fridge that has like a really ripe banana in it, you get that smell. You get that kind of freshness smell. It's not the smell of rotting. It's just like how bananas become so fragrant when they're really ripe. And that blends nicely with the creaminess of sandalwood. So I think it's really interesting. One of the best, most interesting things I think a perfumer can do is make scent associations that you otherwise never would have thought of. So I think magically the banana smell melds right into the kind of creamy nature of sandalwood. But if you're expecting a big, dark, deep sandalwood, that's not really what we've got here. Again, you can tell the packaging, the marketing, it's fun. And all of these, that's kind of what you get. You get something fun, you get something different. But they just all lean a little bit too much into like this fresh and fruity territory. So here's what we have to say. Again, they have kind of two blurbs, one about the sourcing and one about more the smell. So this says, we've tracked down a unique Australian sandalwood, versatile enough to handle hints of outlandish but ethically sustainably sourced banana, cardamom, black pepper, with weird and wonderful labdanum and benzoin resin. Oh yeah, I get the benzoin. I think again, that's playing off the creaminess. This one, having worn it before, I like the way it wore, the way it melds with skin. I think maybe that creaminess kind of melds nicely with skin and creates an interesting thing. But again, I don't think I would buy it. I think banana is a hard sell for almost anybody, but it's fun and interesting. So worth a sniff. All right, continuing here with Bark. What do you think this smells like? Yeah, so another woody one. This one, it's a relief, doesn't smell fruity or lemony, but it's very bright. Again, they all have this real brightness, which I like because I think sometimes a mistake indie perfumers make, and not for me to judge people's creations, I'm not a perfumer, but is that they just overload with heavy things because they think, you know, if I just add all these luxurious heavy things together, and it just becomes this thick, dense, undifferentiated soup. And you can tell that Simon really knows what he's doing because they have this like extreme clarity and extreme brightness and effervescence to every single fragrance, which even if I don't love the smell, I appreciate their construction and that aspect. Can't find Bark in here. Might have to come back to that because I think maybe Bark was an edition, a newer edition. Fran Mad. Yeah, I actually remember this, having to look it up. Yeah, so there's actually a few more fragrances in here than are in the booklet. So they've added another one recently for the holidays that again you can only get in the UK. Right, so this is Rosewood. Now I remember. Well, not now I remember, I looked it up. So Rosewood says it's been used to make violins for centuries, has a sexy side. They get a delicate, sweet, woody scent. Yeah, again, this, it gives a little bit pledge, like wood cleaner. It says it has mango, neroli, and a marijuana note. I can get that if you smell deeply. But again, I think with all of these, maybe, again, it's just a style preference. I'm wishing there was more wood, but you can tell he really likes those effervescent, bright top notes. And yeah, I get something, yeah, very effervescent. I don't smell mango unless it's very green mango because it has like a sour sharpness to it a little bit. But yeah, that one's about Rosewood. A lot of fragrances here. Patch. So this one I talked about. By far my favorite. It wears beautifully. My favorite kinds of patchouli are those that emphasize the green, kind of wet, earthy aspect. Well, this one's not really working either, but I already have it. I have the bottle. And it says it has oud in the base as well, and I think that helps with the longevity. So it just wears really pleasantly. I love it. It also has kind of like, I thought of this later, almost like a Coca-Cola smell in the intro. So if you like that kind of Coca-Cola, wet earth, I still think it's the most kind of realistic kind of invocation of like a wet, damp forest I've smelled. But it's not woody. There's no pine. There's no conifer, but just more like the wet soil on a cool morning. So that's Patch. Here's Bean. This one, again, was one of my favorites among the ones I hadn't tried. So it's about tonka bean. Yeah, and this one I feel like you can more smell the star ingredient right from the start. It's not covered up by that big freshness. There is a freshness, but you get right away that almondy nuttiness. I think this is probably my second favorite overall. So Patch is my first favorite, then Bean, and then probably Sand, just for how interesting it is. But let's see what they say about Bean. There's Sand, Bean. So for far too long, tonka has sacked off as poor man's vanilla, but no one should put this baby in the corner. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Brazilian orange oil, lavender, neroli, and fennel. Yeah, I think it's that orange oil. Again, he likes the citrus for brightness, but I think it's the lavender. This is very nice. They say yummy like a posh pudding with none of the calories, but it's not too sweet. It doesn't smell like pudding or custard to me. Yeah, I'm really liking this again, the more I smell it right now. So Bean is a winner for me. And again, it's one of those things that I've smelled by other perfumers, like indie small houses, tonka creations, that I really didn't like. I think they tend to jack up the coumarin, which sometimes adds a lot of maybe bitterness, and this has no bitterness. This is like smooth, almost like almond paste, like marzipan, but not that sweet, but a little bit sweet. But I wouldn't say it's gourmand. And the last one, Cake. Yeah, so I think a lot of these do lean on the gourmand sweet side of things, but always brightened with citrus, so never syrupy. This isn't bad, actually, Cake. Again, bright. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but a lot of these have a very similar structure. This has a real brightness, which again reads kind of as lemony to me. I think this is another one that's not in the booklet, so I'll look it up quickly. Let's see what we're smelling here though. Yeah, it's getting more sweet. It has a little bit of that, like, it's almost a little powdery. A little bit sweet, a little bit lemony. Okay, let's see. Creamy cake, caramel notes, dollop of fresh trade cocoa absolute. So this one's about cocoa, I guess, or cacao. So it says, no, actually it says cocoa, not cacao. Yeah, cocoa beans, cocoa absolute, caramel. So that would be where the powderiness, I think, is coming from. I get a dusty powderiness. It's interesting, the power of suggestion. In my mind, again, because the brightness, I'm imagining like a white lemon cake, but now that they say cocoa, I smell the powderiness. I guess it's supposed to be like a chocolate cake. But again, it's not that rich or syrupy. It's definitely not anything like a rich dark chocolate creaminess. Again, there's a real strong brightness. I'm not sure where that's coming from because it only mentions caramel. Yeah, but it's getting more and more sweet, more and more caramel as it dries down. Again, there's like a cold brightness to it, almost like you're smelling a vanilla ice cream on a piece of cake. So anyway, I think that's all of them. So overall, I think I was so blown away by the patchouli that I would have to say I'm a little disappointed by the rest of the line, because everything else kind of goes in a direction that's not so much me. But if you like Lush perfumes, especially if you like gourmands, if you like kind of fresh, light, fun thought experiments, these are good to try. They also sell them in pretty small sizes, but I think the sample set, at least for the price, is definitely worth checking out if all this sounds interesting to you. But I can see some people people's taste trying this and just really hating it and thinking like, what the heck, why was I recommending this? But you know, if yuzu cheesecake and you know, cocoa cake sounds disgusting to you, then, you know, or if fun and perfume doesn't really belong in the same sentence to you, then probably not going to be the brand for you. That's not necessarily my style either, but I appreciate having experienced these, and I did find one winner that was worth buying a bottle, and happy to have them all, and I'll probably keep revisiting some of the favorites like Bean. But again, I can't stress enough that none of them go in the like ethyl maltol, none of them go in the like kind of popular designer cloying sweetness, because they're all a bit too natural smelling for that, and a bit too light and a bit too effervescent and bright to ever be anything I would describe as cloying. So it might just be a matter of whether you like the smell or not, but it's not the kind of thing that's going to be like overwhelmingly dessert cloying sweet. And they do mention, actually, it's interesting, they give a breakdown about perfume components. They describe what are essential oils versus naturally derived extracts and aroma chemicals, and they say they use all three. So they're never claiming to be all natural perfume house. And back here we've got the ingredients, they include all the ingredients. It's like fair trade cacao, coumarin, citral, etc. I guess if you guys are curious about their official definition, essential oils and absolutes are distilled essence of plants and aromatic compounds of flowers, leaves, gums, resins, roots, and bark that contain precious oils. Nature-derived extracts, chemically named materials which occur naturally within an essential oil. They vary in strength and quality and are found either within the oil itself or have been extracted separately for use in perfume. And aroma chemicals are synthetically created. This may sound scary, but often these replicate a material that may involve animal cruelty, think musks, or replicate odors not readily or naturally available without environment or economic impact. And I don't think I have to say this to my viewers, but there's nothing safer about natural perfumes, and oftentimes it's the opposite, because natural extracts have just a load of compounds, many of which we could be allergic to, many of which the plant made to keep people and bugs and predators away. And so in general, synthetic ingredients are more finely calibrated and more thoroughly tested and more control over what's in it. They know exactly what's in it. And therefore, I would say generally safer and less potential for allergenic reaction. So anybody who thinks that all natural perfume is somehow safer or better for you, I think is just misinformed. Anyway, there we go. Let me know if you've tried any of these. Very few people seem to have. If you're in the UK, you have no excuse but to order their sample set. And I'll see you next time.